Hi, welcome back to my channel. I had a huge week, both in terms of gains to the portfolio and just big news all around. We're going to talk about what the PlayStation 5 selling out means for Sony stock and what I think that race is going to look like between Sony and Microsoft. But we'll get right into the portfolio right now. So as we can see on the day, up about 1% or $150. On the past week now, up $700 or 5%. Zooming out to the month, we can see up nearly $2,000. 3 months now, up even more, $2,500. Over the past year, up $4,667, or almost 48%, and all-time up 47%. That is a new all-time high for me. We can see the portfolio value is $14,415. If we look over here, we can see that the initial portfolio was a $9,800 investment. I did deposit another $200 over the past week, and I made a couple moves there. The first was selling one share of KeyBank. I am slowly going to be selling that over the next month or two to purchase some more Bitcoin. We'll talk about Bitcoin at the end of the video. Sold one share there at $14.84. Then I made a couple of purchases, the first being one more share of VTI, which is my total stock market ETF. Paid $182.12 there. And the last but certainly not least, I purchased $50 of Bitcoin, or 0.003 Bitcoin. My new position there is 0.268 Bitcoin, and the price was $16,297.32. Very excited about that. We'll talk about all of that upcoming in the video, but now we're going to talk about the PlayStation 5. Don't forget to hit that like button. It makes a huge difference in the algorithm and helping get this video out to other people. As I mentioned just a little bit ago, the PlayStation 5 is selling out. So here we have an article talking about where you can potentially find the PlayStation 5 and how soon you should be able to find it. So it says, if you're wondering where to buy the PS5, you're certainly not alone. We've seen the most recent haul of PS5 Walmart stock run out, so it's time to head back to the web to find more chances to buy it. PlayStation 5 GameStop bundles opened up briefly. They seem to be sold out at the moment, while Sony Direct Queue has people waiting in a virtual line. With the GameStop bundles, you're not saving any cash, but including games and accessories on top of the PS5's usual price means GameStop is able to hold stock a little bit longer. Said if you're in the UK, you'll be looking to restock over the next couple of days to buy the PS5. However, retailers may well follow up on this morning's antics with more PlayStation 5 stock tonight, so we would keep checking the stores below. Here we said we're likely to see more chances to buy PlayStation 5 across the world over the next few days, so we recommend keeping that refresh button loose and checking out on the quick links below. Things will move quickly when the opportunity to buy PlayStation 5 does present itself, so you need persistence, quick reflexes, and a little luck for this one. They said, if you need to know where to buy PS5 quickly, and chances are you do, you'll find all the latest PS5 stock updates from retailers likely to carry day one units just below. Keep checking these links as you never know when more consoles will hit the shelves. As I mentioned before, this is an article from Tech Radar. So here they're saying that you could potentially purchase it through GameStop, Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Costco, Sony, Target, B&H Photo, Newegg, Adorama, and Sam's Club. I have some more quick links here. The big news is basically that the PlayStation 5 is selling so hot right now that none of these retailers are able to keep it in stock. So we'll now look at Sony stock and see what exactly that's doing. Sony stock is now trading at just under $89, up 0.68% on the day. Unfortunately, I still only have my 2 shares, but my average cost is down there below $56. Total return is now up $66, or about 59%. So if we zoom out to the past week, we can see it's down a minuscule amount, but over the past month, up nearly 20%. Of course, looking back on that, I wish I would have purchased more Sony stock. Over the past 3 months now, up about 12%. Over the past year, up 43%. And over the past 5 years, up 227%. So if we zoom out to the last 5 years, I think what we're really seeing here is a 2-horse race between Sony and Microsoft. Of course, Sony having the PlayStation 5, Microsoft coming out with the new Xbox. The gaming industry also has continued to grow exponentially, and even more so over the past year because people have been stuck at home over the past 7 to 8 months and are looking for something to fill their time. So I think these next generation consoles are really going to be indicative of the market as a whole, especially these consumer electronics companies. It's my opinion that they will continue to succeed because people are looking for ways to vent at home, especially as the games themselves get better. So we can see a 92% buy rating on Robinhood, and if we move down to their earnings, they have been spectacular. There was a little bit of a dip here, Q4 of fiscal year 2019, but these earnings are trending upwards. And certainly we're seeing over the past few months that the release of the PlayStation 5 is going to be huge. That next earnings call is not until February 2nd, but I think that'll be very interesting. I'm hoping to buy more Sony stock by then because I believe, as I mentioned, that people are still going to be stuck at home, and there's no reason to believe that Sony's going to falter at all in the short run. Next up, we have Sunrun, which is the largest stock holding in my portfolio. I've talked about it a ton. Total return, of course, is broken because these were all Vivint Solar shares that were moved over to Sunrun, but I believe my cost basis was somewhere between $600 and $700. So up nearly 5% on the day. Over the past week, up 10%. Over the past month, still down 6%. 3 months, up 27%. Over the past year, up 311%, and 5 years now, up 702%. It is quite expensive at the moment. Decent buy rating here on Robinhood. I think I'm going to stay put with where I'm at. But the big news here was this last earnings call. Sunrun was able to turn a profit. As I've mentioned in quite a few videos, the whole reason for this merger being such a big deal is that both Vivint Solar and Sunrun were struggling to remain profitable. Because these two companies were able to come together, the hope is that they'll be able to decrease their fixed costs, hopefully decrease variable costs, and in the long run be able to make some money. We're seeing that happen, and I think it's a stock to continue watching. Next, we have Microsoft, of course, the big competitor for Sony. Total return now here is up $122, or about 13%. I have 5 shares worth just over $1,000. Up on the day, down on the week. Over the past month, down a little bit. 3 months, up a tiny bit. Over the past year, still up 40%, and 5 years, up 299%. I think Microsoft is actually a much better play than Sony because of the infrastructure they have set up with their cloud services. They're now the second largest cloud provider behind Amazon. And of course, that Pentagon contract going through last year was huge for them. 90% buy rating on Robinhood, and the same thing as some of these other companies I mentioned. I think looking at the earnings is definitely very important. So we can see the earnings are trending upwards, which is also great to see. If we look here, we can see the price to earnings ratio is about 35, which is still very high, but everything I've read says that the PE ratios are just extremely high in general right now, which is potentially a sign that stocks are sort of inflated, that stock prices shouldn't be as high as they currently are. But at the same time, there's a decent dividend here. I think tech stocks in general have a long way to go in terms of dividend growth. You can see the dividend is below 1%, so there's tons of room to grow there, and I like Microsoft. Speaking of dividends, next up we have Coca-Cola trading at about $53. I am now in the positive here, up $22 all time, or about 3.5%. My average cost is $51.27 on those 13 shares. Of course, dividend king here. They've paid an increasing dividend almost 60 years in a row now. If we zoom out to the month, we can see up 5.5%, 3 months up 12%, over the past year still down, and 5 years up 28%. Of course, Coca-Cola was hit extremely hard during the pandemic because restaurants, movie theaters, amusement parks were all closed. There's no reason to believe that Coca-Cola's earnings are going to be exploding, especially as these lockdowns continue to take place. But of course, this is a long-term holding and a stock that I believe in. Warren Buffett, of course, is the largest owner of Coca-Cola, so that's always a good thing to note. But let me know what you think of Coca-Cola down in the comments. The last stock for today will be Walmart, trading at $151. I have 2 shares. My average cost is down there at $122. Total returns now up $58, or about 24%. The play here with Walmart is long-term consistency. I've mentioned it quite a few times. Whether the stock market is doing great or horrible, whether the economy is doing great or horrible, Walmart seems to stick in there and do a pretty good job, especially with that decent dividend. Tons of room to grow here. So over the past week, Walmart's up about 1.4%. Over the past month, up 3 months, up 15%. Over the past year, up 26%. And 5 years now, up 168%. Strong buy rating on Robinhood. We can see the price to earnings ratio is a little bit lower here at about 21.5. Dividend yield is still only 1.4%, but I think it will continue to grow based on what I've read. At the same time, the earnings have been a little bit up and down, but at the same time are trending upwards, and we can see that their earnings have been very strong. So that last earnings call at $1.34 a share, and we can see I've received these dividends in June. That was 1 share. In September, I received 2 shares, 2 dividends. So we have 54 cents a share. If I had to guess, the dividend for next year will be either 55 or 56 cents a share. Last but certainly not least, we have to talk about Bitcoin, now trading for just under $18,000. Every single week it seems to go up, and I'm just kicking myself thinking, why didn't I buy more Bitcoin a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year ago? But I can't go back on that. I can only continue to purchase more Bitcoin. So my average cost is now up to $99.36. Quantity is 0.268 Bitcoin, creeping up there on 0.3. Portfolio diversity makes up almost 1/3 of my portfolio now, and my total return is up $2,103 or 79%. If we zoom out to the week, we can see it's up about 9%. 1 month here, up 50%. 3 months, up about 48%. Over the past year, up 117%. And 5 years now, up 5,300%. I can only continue to hammer it. I'm going to buy Bitcoin every single week for at least the next year. My belief is that it's going to peak at the end of next year, but let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll be back with another video next week. Thanks.